What's up? Mark Henninger at CEDIA 2024 at the Yamaha booth, and we're going to find out what's up with David Nowak. What do you got, David?
Hey Mark and everybody out there. So for the first time at CEDIA, Yamaha is showing the complete audio solution of not only residential surround sound systems, AVRs, immersive audio, 2-channel audio, but we're also showing our complete suite of commercial audio and Nexo high performance speakers.
Right on. Well, let's look at what you got.
So we went a little different way this time. We are showing some of our products on our new virtual rack. So it gives us a really easy way to highlight products just by simply touching a button. And that way we can look at all these different commercial audio products, amplifiers, our network switches, our Nexo amplifiers, and other products. It's really very cool. Yamaha is the only company in the industry that provides a complete suite of product solutions for virtually any kind of project that you have, whether it's residential, commercial, or that new cool buzzword, resi-mercial.
Right on. Yes, you've long been into that, and so this looks designed to really get to the point when you've got an actual integrator here trying to find out what you got for sale. So what have you got? Well,
Mark, let me start over here. So this is Nexo. This is a company that Yamaha has that makes very high performance professional audio systems that are used primarily in performing arts centers and concert halls and things like that. But what we're doing is we're bringing the smaller versions to the CEDIA market. So for those dealers that have customers that love that live event experience, that concert, we have the solution for them. It's all part of the Yamaha family.
Right on. And what's next?
So in addition, as I said, we've got some 70-volt speakers, so the typical restaurant installation or sports bar or hotel, everything from pendant speakers, surface speakers, ceiling speakers. We probably have 30 different kinds of speakers for virtually any kind of application.
Right on. And that's what Yamaha's up to at CEDIA 2024?
That's what Yamaha is up to. We have our residential products on the other side of the booth, which is all of our surround sound receivers. Come on, follow me. So what we're showing here, and Phil Shea is our residential expert. So Phil, you want to walk them through a little bit of what we have?
This is Mark again, and we are switching from David to Phil Shea. What are you going to show us, Phil?
All right, well, let's start over here. Let's go back to the beginning.
All right.
So right here, this is our 2-channel hi-fi. Now this is a install show, and you wouldn't think 2-channel audio is the go-to thing, but this is where Yamaha started. When I started Yamaha, 2-channel was all it was before surround sound. Over the last 5 years, we've introduced flagship product, mid-price product, and then this was last year, the RN2000, toroidal transformer, floating and balanced amplifier design. All the amplification here is based off of our flagship $45,000 system. What customers have been asking us is the simplicity of 2-channel listening. Let's go back to the good old days where we're just listening to some vinyl, listen to 2-channel, get some imaging and staging. So it's great audio. When you go above this line, we get into our integrateds, which are strictly analog pieces. So if you're going to do any type of streaming, got to add extra boxes. Musiccast streaming services are all internal to the RN2000. So it's part of our Musiccast network system. So you have a great 2-channel listening. It's all your streaming services. You can link with all other Musiccast devices. We have an HDMI input on the back just for convenience. For if it's going to be close to a TV, you might as well get the TV sound in there. USB DAC function and all that kind of stuff. This is where audio started, was 2-channel with Yamaha. Speakers, the NS800s that go along with it, with Yamaha piano finish. When Yamaha says it's a piano finish, you know it's a piano finish because it's the same patented process we use in our grand pianos.
Literal piano finish. Yeah, that's interesting. The popularity of HDMI 2-channel systems is actually a little phenomenon that's
it's going on, and we're seeing that. And I've, over the last couple of days talking to integrators, there's a lot of guys that raise their hand. How many guys are adding hi-fi to your mix? And a good number of guys are raising their hand because, you got the theater room, but there's also a room where you want to kind of get away and enjoy just some great 2-channel listening.
Right on.
Then we move around over here. Since this is an integration show, then Avontage would be, our number one product here. So we have a full line of Avontage. We have 4 models from the RXA2 all the way up to the RXA8, which I'll give you a tour on the inside of that in just a little bit.
Okay.
But one of the things that we want to show, now Avontage, this line of Avontage has been around for a couple years now, but we also do major firmware updates. So this platform was built for firmware updates. The hardware is perfectly fine, does everything we need to do, and we keep modernizing it by updating firmware. What I'm showing over here is for the integrators. Unfortunately, not everyone knows that this is available to them. So once I get this is this receiver right here. This is an RXA6 receiver that's in this little rack right here, and I'll show you the streaming amp that goes with it. Now, setting up these receivers is really, you got 11 channels of processing and speakers and sizes and all this kind of stuff, different zones. You can do all the setup through the on-screen display with the remote control, up, down, left, right. You get down 9 levels of menus into that. What we have on all of our Avontage products is what's called web setup. And once this receiver is on the network, your laptop or your tablet is on that same network, you type in the IP address of this receiver that has been assigned. So in this case, it's 1010.73.9. Then you type in /setup. /setup is the secret ingredient to get into this. Now I have all my zones are available to me where everything is at. I can power things on and power things off, which isn't important for setup, but when you're doing troubleshooting, once everything's done, you can take your tablet, walk around the whole house, and you go, you know what, that zone 2, I don't like the way it's balanced, so I can change the balance on zone 2. For speakers, guys like doing EQ, we have Yamaha's YPOW auto calibration system. So we can do an auto calibration, and you go, you know what, I think I can do better, or I measure something. This is what's really fun. So we go down here, and we have 7 bands of parametric EQ for each channel. So we have 70 bands of equalization that you can adjust with your remote control and your cursor up and down. It's a little bit easier doing it graphically in front of you. So front left channel, I have 1 EQ, this low frequency one, and I can all the way down to 15.6 hertz. I can adjust the gain, I can adjust the Q. So you can go through all this. Now that's pretty
it's pretty deep.
That's pretty hard to do, to go all the way. So what we recommend doing, run the Yamaha YPOW calibration. When you do that, you end up with 4 things. It takes all the data from all the measurements, and you can say, I want all the speakers to sound flat. So we measured all the speakers, we re-EQ them and make them all sound flat. Not always the best sound. We have a thing called front. If you have a $40,000 set of main speakers and you got a bunch of in-ceiling speakers for your Atmos, you don't want to adjust your main speakers. So what we do is we analyze those main speakers, and then we try to make all the other speakers in the room sound like your $40,000, whatever it is. We have natural and we have through, but let's take this natural one. Just kind of puts a little curve in the top, and it's probably the most neutral and most pleasing. I like the natural that the Yamaha measure, but I think there's some things I want to change on it. So we go to the PEQ copy, and I go, I want to take that natural sound that's pretty darn close, hit enter, and it sets it over to manual. So now this is all of my natural setting. Now everything's at 0 because we didn't have speakers to do a calibration. Now I can go through here and do tweaks. If I want to goose up the bass, if I want to adjust the treble, if I want to adjust the balance. I'm not screwing with any of the data that's already existing. This is my manual setting. If I get it so far off I can't fix it, I just recopy it from the save stuff. We're showing this off, and of course you go into the different zones and you can save all your settings. So if you do another job of the same thing, but it's the IP address /setup. So many guys don't know that this is there, and it's a super huge time saving. All these products are part of our Musiccast ecosystem. and that's our wireless multi-room audio. And the receivers can do 3 zones of audio: main zone, zone 2, zone 3. If you need more zones, we have our quad streaming amplifiers. So it's 4 zones of stereo amplification. Each one is its own Musiccast network card. So this one right here is a dining room, bedroom, kids room, and the bathroom is all this one amplifier right here. I have another amplifier right here, which I can do maybe out on the patio. Maybe I have 8 speakers outside, so I need 2 channels or 3 channels or 4 channels of amplification. I can do up to 32 zones total in the system. So I'd probably do 7 of these will get me up to 28 zones. 3 zones in here gets me up to 31, and I have 1 spare zone for expanding later on. So,
right on.
And that's the Musiccast system. Now, with these streaming amplifiers, there is kind of a limit. I say, okay, getting up to 20, up to 32 zones, but then it starts getting a little bit funky with control, because now you got your phone and you're going through 32 zones. You're getting kind of into the gray area where you might want to slide over into some of this light commercial products that we have in here. And that's kind of the handoff. And that's what we find the guys are doing. Some of the guys that we've been training this week, that's what they're doing. They're using this for theater, maybe 2 channel, whatever it is. And then we start getting gnarly in the backyard with 40 speakers and 70 volt systems and things like that. Then we can easily just meld right together. It's all Yamaha quality and Yamaha reliability, which is the most important thing for the guys that are here.
Right on. All right, let's check out the insides, the guts of that.
Oh yeah.
VR.
Okay, this is an RX-A8, so this is our flagship piece right here. Yamahas are known for their reliability and build quality. The Avontage line is our flagship, and it's overbuilt. First of all, you're going to notice this right here. We have a thing called H-frame construction. This is our H. These are the vertical lines. There's a cross member, and it's reinforced. What we want to do is get rid of vibration, any kind of resonance in the chassis. We want everything to be solid. Symmetrical amplifier design. So here's my right channels are all over here. Left channels are over here, separated by the center mounted power supply. The central power supply is really close to the power amplifier. So if this channel needs a bass drum kick or an explosion, the current is available right there. It doesn't have to go through an 8 or 10 inch piece of wire to get from the back all the way up to the front. HDMI. Underneath these big heat sinks are the HDMI switching chips. So here's our 8 HDMI inputs and outputs. This is for reliability. We've always put extra heat sinks on our HDMI chips, keep them cool, tons of processing, lots of heat generated. Not necessarily spec that they need, the manufacturer doesn't expect that they need this. This is something extra that we've always done over the top. Network card. So this little aluminum heat sink here, this copper is a ground that grounds to the inside of the top chassis. We have this nice big aluminum heat sink on the network. This is more than just a network card, because this is the hub of our Musiccast system. Here's your 2 little wires. Here are your antennas, your Wi-Fi antennas that come out to the back over here, or it's just Ethernet plugged into here. But this also does all the switching for our music. So when we link 12 rooms together to play the same music, it's all going through a Yamaha network card that's in there. That so does not only bringing all the streaming services in, but it's also doing the switching for all the Musiccast products. The transformer, here's something that's you won't find. This symmetrical amp design you find in high-end products. The ultra high-end products, this is the standard. It's more expensive to do, but in these price points, you don't find this. This is not available in these price points except for Yamaha Avontage. This transformer, first of all, it's a huge transformer for the size of this. This little square box right here, this is something that's been added by Yamaha. Not only is it huge, this is mu metal, MU metal. One of the properties of mu metal is it absorbs magnetic field. So any stray magnetic field that comes out of the transformer, which is going to happen, we do everything we can not to make it, but it can happen, gets absorbed by this mu metal and gets shorted to ground. This transformer, we didn't just bolt it to the bottom chassis of this unit right here, which is more common practice. They make a half a box and they start bolting stuff to the bottom. This huge transformer is mounted to a super rigid rectangle box which is mounted to a super rigid bracket, so it's never touching the bottom of the chassis. To go a step further, the heat sinks with the amplifiers on them, these are not mounted directly to the chassis, and you can probably see back here, there's a little bracket. These are mounted to a bracket, a rectangle box bracket that is mounted to the chassis. So the amplifiers are mounted independently and on something solid. The power supply is mounted independently and on two things that are very solid. All very expensive manufacturing techniques, but this is that makes the Yamaha Avontage product line so desirable, and that's why people appreciate the reliability. It's not by accident they're reliable, it's done on purpose.
Man, thank you for that, Phil. Appreciate it.
Cool.